Hey Mung Beans. I'm Joey.
I'm Ashley.
And this is Wine Time Mysteries.
If you're into true crime,
And if the paranormal gets your nips hard,
then this is for you. But before we get started,
make sure to follow us on Spotify and stalk us on Insta and TikTok.
or send your inquiries to winetimemysteries@gmail.com, and we promise to at least try to get back to you.
Lego!
We heard a goat noise and I said, sorry, that was my flange. You're welcome. What are you talking about today, Dal?
Well, darling, look, I'm having a lot of trouble getting out of Europe, aren't I?
Oh, I like it.
And I'm...
Okay.
And no, I'm not back in London, even though I've got this terrible accent on.
Are we in their cousin?
We're...
No, that was... Shut up. Who's London's cousin?
Well, I was thinking like Ireland or Scotland, maybe.
Oh.
But then
I'd
don't
like
say
to
that
be
to the
in there.
Irish, because the Irish... The English did some really bad stuff to the Irish.
I do like the Irish, though.
Fuck yeah. I want to marry... Oh my God. I want to marry an Irish man of Italian descent who moved to Canada.
Yes. We made a pact about that. That if by the time... How old were we going to be? If we weren't married by some time, we were going to go travel to Ireland.
To find husbands.
Yeah, because we just love the accent.
And then you married someone, so...
So, Italian.
This week, we find ourselves in Spain.
Ooh. Whenever I think about Spain, I think of, like, hot women.
Oh, that's not where I was expecting it to go.
Oh, men, obviously, but you know what I'm talking about. Those hot Spanish, yes.
I know what you mean. And I'm 100% gay, but I know exactly what you mean. There's just this spice,
and I'm
this salt.
straight, but I mean, those sultry ladies... Damn. Sorry. As you were. We're in hot Spanish ladies and men.
Yeah, and you can't stop thinking about their Spanish omelette, can you? This week, little mung beans, we are going to be talking about Manuel Blanco Romasanta.
Can I say one more time, or is that annoying to people? I don't care. One more time.
Manuel Blanco Romasanta. Escándalo.
Fuck, I love your voice.
Why? I like to...
Pronunciate.
I like to try. Oh, I keep fucking my hole.
Stop slapping your dick on the mic, alright?
It's just so big. This week's case is strange for a few reasons, which I will touch on later in the episode. But let's start off with a burn. Born to Miguel Blanco and Maria Romasanta in Spain on the 18th of November, 1809.
Oh, really early days.
Very early days.
You never do 1800 cases.
It's my first one.
Just like I never do cases on Johns.
But listen, most of your, like 99% of your cases are Australia. And then on top of that, John. And then last week, the cat?
Yeah.
The cat.
Well, then last week, poor John got fucked up.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah. And last week, John was kind of the victim.
Yeah.
So, the 18th of November would make him a...
Scorpio. Oh. So love me Scorpios. Don't fuck with them, though.
Yeah, you're surrounded by Scorpios.
I am surrounded by Scorpios.
Well, two.
I'm just a sucker for pain.
But we keep it real.
Yeah. The best kind.
Well...
Depending on the Scorpio level. Christy, Joseph. Just saying. Love you, bye.
She embraces the 8th house, though, and I don't. And I think that's the difference. You know what the 8th house is, right? Scorpio is from the 8th house, which is birth, death, and sex.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still in single digits, but that's because I don't throw it around for everyone.
I'm in double. But
You're
not...
a slut. But you're married.
But under 15. Yeah, well...
Doubles are doubles.
Yeah. I mean, I doubled my number after my last partner.
Yeah, but you slept with some pretty questionable men.
I have. Are you thinking about all the people you've slept with now?
If we're talking about penetrative sex, I have only had sex with 5 people. And they weren't even all men. Isn't that sad? Gross.
I think my number was 6. And then I definitely doubled it.
T.
Yeah. No, under 20. I'm the grenade.
Oh, no. That's mean.
I so was, though.
No, okay. Moving on. When Manuel was born, he was referred to as an unknown critter. That's the quote. That is the tea, honey. And apparently some reports say that he was hard to identify as human.
Care?
But I don't think, I kind of feel like that has been made into something more than what it was.
Yeah.
One thing that they knew for a fact was that this little beast was actually a female.
Oh.
So they named her Manuela. Confused?
Yeah.
Don't blame you. See, it turns out that Manuel was actually born intersex. And lived as a girl for the first 6 years of his life.
Is that why they... Oh, this is where my pronouns are going to be really bad.
They,
'Cause I'm
them,
just-
they did,
I'm
that
really
didn't exist
bad.
at the time.
Okay, so I'm just going to be naive because I'm white and have no fucking idea what I'm talking about. Is that why they were called a critter?
I don't think so.
That's where my brain went. I was like, oh, is that why? 'Cause that's
Well, see,
sad.
the one thing they thought they knew was that it was a female.
Okay.
So Manuel lived as Manuela for the first, or Manuela, I don't know how you pronounce it, but for the first 6 years of their life until his doctor, her doctor. Also, if we have any people who are non-binary or are transgendered, please forgive our ignorance or naivety. At this time, we didn't know any better. And it's not like they struggled with they were born in the wrong body. Unfortunately, they had to deal with an affliction, as it would have been called at the time, where they were born with multiple organs, sex organs.
Just as a little fucking side note, if you feel you ever need to correct us or want to teach us something, send us a nice email. We
Please
are
do.
more than happy.
Please do. And
Because I have
will...
no fucking idea about anything.
Yeah, and look, I am part of the LGBTQIA plus community, and there are a lot of things that even I don't know. So if you ever want to educate us on that kind of stuff, we're absolutely...
Nicely.
Yeah, I mean, that's obviously implied.
Yeah.
If you're rude for the sake of being rude,
Get fucked. Fuck off.
you'll get deleted. See ya.
Well, I'm very if I was in a seat, I'd be on the edge of my seat.
Until he went to a doctor who reassigned his sex, and at the age of 8, the family legally changed his name to Manuel, which would have been really rare
That's
at
what,
the time.
That's what I was just thinking. I'm like 1800s. That's crazy. Like,
Yeah.
would they have even known about? I have no freaking idea.
I don't know, but
that's crazy.
I guess if we look at with a wokest idea, who made that decision?
Yeah.
Did little Manuel have a say in what
Or
they
was
wanted?
It just,
was it the parents, because the parents were...
really wanted a boy? And,
did the doctor just do it? There's a lot that's kind of missing from that.
That's super interesting.
Yeah, but I thought I would also include a little intersex for dummies
For Ashley.
section in here. Not just for you. I didn't quite understand it either.
Yeah.
I kind of still don't, but there are many different ways that someone can be intersex. Some intersex people have genitals or internal sex organs that fall outside of the male-female categories, such as a person with both ovarian and testicular tissues.
Yeah.
Other intersex people have combinations of chromosomes that will differ from the XY, which is normally associated with a male, and XX, which is obviously usually associated with a female.
Yeah.
They would have something similar to like XXY. So they would have like an extra chromosome.
Yeah.
And some people were born with external genitals that fall outside the typical male-female category, but their internal organs or hormones don't.
Human bodies, man. Fuck.
So fascinating.
Yeah.
Scary.
Scary.
But fascinating. Manuel's family was very wealthy, and it's safe to say that they were quite privileged. They had wealth and riches, but the same could not be said regarding love, and he would go kind of ignored for the most part. He was also like the runt of the family. He was different. He would have needed different kind of care. So while I disagree, he probably would have been treated differently.
Oh, definitely. Given the time as well, yeah.
I mean, go back to the 90s.
Fucking look what's happening in 2021.
Yeah. We are fucked as a society. Their funds allowed them an education, so he was able to read and write from a young age when most adults around the time couldn't. And you find that quite a lot, even leading up into like the 1940s and 50s.
Yeah.
There's still people that are uneducated. So the fact that his entire family could read and write.
Yeah, rare. Well, because it's normally you're of age, pull you out, go to work.
Yeah, and even then, it wasn't even being of age. Like a lot of people I believe during war times, during the Depression, would maybe stay at school until between like the ages of like maybe 8 and 11.
Yeah.
And then the second they're old enough to bring an income in, they're sent off to work.
I give you shit for doing cases on the 1800s because I love you, but I find it so fascinating.
I love them, which is why I keep going back.
Yeah. Not researching. Fuck that. I tried. No, thank you.
It's hard.
It's fucking hard to do. But I find it so interesting.
I don't know why they're my favorite.
Must be your past life.
I was going to say, like, maybe I have an affinity with it because maybe I died in the 1800s.
Well, mine's Egypt. Always fascinated with Egypt. And they just fucked whoever they wanted.
Yeah, brothers,
Sex,
sisters, mums, dads.
No, not that part.
Okay.
Well, I mean, love was love. It just, yeah.
Kind of, but now
matter.
it's illegal to enter Egypt if you are gay. So,
Is it really?
yeah.
Fuck, I'm so uneducated.
If I went there as an openly gay man, they would deport me straight away.
Fuck, I need to learn. Like,
It's weird.
yeah, I didn't know that. In 2021, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, and I don't think that's going to change. There's a few countries that
Yeah. Huh.
it's illegal to be legal to be gay. What, you're scared of getting a fashion sense and some nice decor?
You scared to be attracted to me?
Do you know what's really funny, right? These people, straight men, it's usually men, hashtag not all, that like have this toxic masculinity about this makes you a man and this makes you a man. I think it's fascinating just how fragile masculinity is.
Oh, yeah.
You're this big butch man, but you see a man wearing nail polish and all of a sudden it destroys your idea of what being a man is.
Well, I've told you of a comment before, even made to a child, stop crying or you'll wear a dress. Like, I'm sorry, is that a threat now? Like,
I remember you telling me that. It made me really mad.
Yeah.
Manuel was really tall. In fact, he came in at under 5 foot, and some would say that he was as tall as 4'6".
Oh.
Giant. I wish I was that tall.
Sarcasm?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
It was really small.
yeah, I was like, oh, that's really small if you think that's tall. That's not tall. I didn't pick up on your sarcasm then. Look at me.
Girl, I'm exactly 5'77", right? And that makes me sad. So 4'6".
Yeah, we want to climb you, not descend. You?
Right.
Is that, I don't know.
We want to
Some might
climb
wanna
up.
descend.
We want to climb up, not down.
Yeah.
Ascension, not descension.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Because then you might as well fuck a child. Just saying. I mean, but don't.
Oh.
Anyway, so moving on very swiftly, that took a very dark turn. Some even refer to him as looking tender.
Oh.
As you can imagine, he would have been teased for his appearance during childhood and well into being an adult. He would end up working as a tailor, but wasn't known for his skills. Instead, he was known for being short, and that's kind of not cool.
Yeah, that's sad.
Like, imagine that. You're doing a trade. I don't know if that's a trade, so I'm using air quotes. But if it is, don't at me. And then people are like, yeah, we know him, but because he's little.
Oh, the little guy did it.
The little guy.
Cool.
The elf on a shelf sewed me pants. He would end up getting married and tried to live a normal life. I cannot find his wife's name. It's not anywhere. Date of birth, date of death.
I fucking hate when that happens and you can't find anything. You're like, where is it?
And that's one of the really frustrating things about doing early cases.
Yeah.
That there is a lot of information that's kind of missing because it wasn't super common to keep it. This would be short-lived though, as she ended up dying roughly a year later, which I think was around 1833, so I can guess it was maybe 1832 or 31, depending on where it fell in the year.
Yeah.
But after her death, he wanted to pursue a different lifestyle, so he became a traveling salesman and traveled between Spain and Portugal.
Oh.
See, he was all about diversifying his services, so sometimes he would even work as a guide, taking people through the mountains of Castile, Asturias, and Cantabria.
Sorry? What?
Cantabria. Cantabria.
Thank you. Can I just say something really quickly? When you said he wanted to diversify his trade, I was like, what is a footstool? What is a footstool? I'm sorry. That's why I went like this and I was like, I don't know why that broke me. I'm doing Muttley now. I'm crying.
Okay, so Okay, just so I've got this right. I said he was diversifying his trade. And then you went to a footstool.
Oh. I took it as like he was trying new things.
If 1 + 1 is 2,
5.
and 2 + 2 is 4, what the fuck is that? What is that? You weirdo. I enjoyed that though. You're crying.
I'm crying. I love you. Continue.
Bless your heart.
Oh, bless your heart.
That's wonderful. But this is where his attempts at a normal life would kind of end and his life would become anything but. But I mean, that sounds nice, hey?
Yeah?
No, like he's out there walking people in nature and taking in the sights and breathing in the fresh mountain air and making a little bit of money while he does it.
Yeah.
I think that sounds nice.
Yeah.
Personally.
I just don't trust you because you always pull me into a false sense and I'm like, yeah. And then it's something else. So I'm like, okay.
Well,
I don't have trust issues.
you don't know me either, bitch.
That sounds lovely.
It does, right?
It does, yeah.
And it was.
Yeah.
But then it all came crashing down in 1844 when Manuel was charged with the murder of, I can't say that name, Vicente. This all came crashing down in 1844 when Manuel was charged with the murder of Vicente Fernandez, the constable of Leon.
Oh.
He went for the purr, bang, bang.
Oh. I mean, go hard or go home, right? Jeez.
Finger bang, bang, finger.
Finger bang, bang.
You see, Fernandez. So Fernandez was found dead after trying to collect a debt of 600 reales that was owed to one of Manuel's suppliers. I mean, it seems suspicious, but how do you know it was him?
Yeah. You don't know.
Who saw it? Who was
Were you there? No.
Right?
You don't know.
Yeah. Suck my ass, leave the little guy alone.
Yeah. Leave the poor lad alone.
Yeah. And that's what I said as well. And he was served like a summons to court for like a trial. But he was like, no, cabrón, lo siento, no puedo. And was a no-show. So he was judged basically guilty by default and sentenced to 10 years in prison.
Oh, shit.
But it's like, okay, there's no body, no crime. They found the body, but there's no real evidence. The only thing you know is that he owed money somewhere, which he bailed out on. That's bad. This guy went to find him, apparently never found him. I mean, maybe you did,
Yeah.
you know?
No.
It just seemed kind of backwards. But like 10 years for murder and failure to appear in court. I think that seems kind of light.
Super light.
Right? And for that time, in the 1800s, I thought if you were convicted, well, he was charged. I don't know if he was convicted, but if you were charged for murder, it was corporal punishment everywhere.
Yeah.
You were going to die. Manuel managed to escape imprisonment by fleeing the country using a fake passport in the name of Antonio Gomez.
Oh, I like that last name.
See, I was thinking at first, I was like, okay, well, there's not enough proof to say that he was the one who did the murder. But then you've also fled the country under a fake document so that they didn't know that you had left the country. Now it's smelling suspicious to me.
Yeah.
Manuel would settle in a small village in the district of Villa de Barrio for roughly a year and worked as a cord maker, helped with the harvest, and became quite friendly with the ladies.
Oh, look out.
I mean, he has the right height.
Look down. No, I'm kidding.
But you know what I meant? I was meaning cunnilingus. He's short. He's at vag height.
I don't like that. Finger bang bang, gonna finger bang bang.
Gross. Well, that... Okay. He kind of... I think from living with the women, he ended up working some of their, like, traditionally, how do I say this without getting cancelled? What was considered at the time traditional labor for a woman.
Yeah.
So it would be cooking and cleaning, working as a weaver, making yarn on a spinning wheel. But this unfortunately did not bode well for his already, let's say, delicate appearance.
Yeah.
And the men in the village considered him a tad effeminate because, again, masculinity is so fragile. It is believed that because of this, he returned to being a guide because obviously he's not going to get judged about being effeminate anymore. Oh, well, not my problem. Over the years, many women and children would start to disappear after they hired Manuel as a guide. But it took quite a while for their families to cotton on, as he would actually deliver letters to the family claiming that they were written by them to remove the eye of suspicion or whatever you want to call it, so that it didn't look a certain way. So I figured that most of those letters would have been to the effect of, "Sup blood, we got here safe and we've set up our pad. It was like a chill trip. Yo, yo, yo. We ain't dead or nothing, so don't even go looking for us or anything because we're not dead, so don't think we're dead because we're not. Thanks, fam." I think that was
That sounds exactly the way it would have gone.
The essence.
Yeah.
But he obviously thought he was smart, didn't he? Wrong. Because it wasn't hard to figure out where the finger of suspicion actually led as he started to sell their clothes and belongings in the town that they were no longer living in. He also randomly started selling soap
Fuck off.
too, which is a little strange, if you ask me.
Why? People don't want to be clean?
Yeah, they're dirty. While he was selling stolen goods, there was not really anything that conclusively linked him to the murders. Some of the bodies were also brutally mutilated, and it was impossible to get a positive ID even from the families, especially given the time it took. And I mean, when this took place, they didn't have the technology that we have now. They would have seen a dead body. Does it look like it's an animal attack, or does it look like it's knives or axes, whatever?
Yeah.
So nothing really happened for a while until someone came forward and actually called the little shit out and was like, "I think this is what you're doing.
I don't like it.
And I don't like it, and you should stop it." In September of 1852, a formal accusation came out against him where he was accused of killing villagers, selling their belongings, and making soap out of their body fat and selling it to people. He was arrested and brought to trial, and if you didn't think that this little weirdo's life was strange enough, buckle up because we're about to take a trip to Looney Land.
Are we not already there?
You should feel my nipples.
I'm excited. You should feel my nipples.
To start off, at the very beginning of the questioning process, he came out and said, "I killed 13 people." So he didn't even he didn't forgive me if you hear me knocking things. I do it all the time. I'm an absolute klutz. But he said that it was not his fault that these people died. And the reason is, and I quote, "He was cursed and only killed them after he transformed into a wolf."
Same.
But you heard me right. He claimed to be afflicted with lycanthropy, which is just old folklore that claimed that some people could shapeshift into a wolf. He said that the first time he transformed was in the mountains when he was approached by 2 wolves. He said seconds later he was a wolf and remained as one for several days until he was able to return to his human form. He said that the other 2 wolves that were with him also turned into humans and then went by the names Antonio and Don.
Story checks out.
Obviously, no one really believed him, especially after they asked him to transform, and he refused, saying, and get this, the curse expired a week prior.
Duh.
Yeah, because the curse only lasts for 13 years, and that time ended last week. While being convicted for 13 murders, he was only charged for 9. Something about only 9 of them showing signs of human interference, whereas the other ones looked like they had been attacked by animals. So I guess that leaves the window a little bit open, doesn't it, for the possibility of lycanthropy? But they couldn't see signs of human interference. At the same time, I don't know how long it took them to find the people.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. If they're out in the wilderness
for weeks or months, and then animals will eat them. There's a chance that they, whatever. But he originally said he did all of them anyway. So technically he did them. I think some people thought that he was guilty of it over 20 people. But there just wasn't enough evidence, really, to do it, which is kind of shit. The victims ranged from 10 years old up to 47.
Oh.
And he only attacked young children or women.
That's a very... Sorry, I go to the whole profiling. Obviously, he's a serial killer.
He's a serial killer, but it's more so he was so slight of build. He was small.
Go for the quotation mark weaker.
He went for what he felt he could overpower.
Yeah.
And I read like one of them were like mother and son.
Oh,
I know.
hurts my soul.
He was sentenced to death in April of 1853. His sentence was then dropped to life in prison, but then that was appealed and then death was back on the table again. Until some clown in the profession, I don't even know if it was really a profession at the time, but some head doctor person petitioned, and then he ended up writing to Queen Isabella II, who commuted his sentence back to life in prison instead of death. So that's a little bit of a whirlwind, but unfortunately he would die shortly after. And there were rumors at the time that went around claiming that he was shot and killed by a guard because he refused to transform into a wolf. But an official report said that he died in prison on the 14th of December from stomach cancer.
Oh.
So he never got shot, bitch.
Oh.
Yeah. And that, you handy pirate, was the story of Manuel Blanco Romasanta, aka Werewolf of Alariz, aka the Fat Extractor.
Oh. I don't like that last one.
Anyway, thank you so much for still being with us.
Oh my god.
Like, we're in the 20s. Our episodes are in the 20s. Visit our Insta, click on the link tree, and that will take you everywhere else that you need to go.
Do it.
You.